This is episode number 5, and today we're going to talk all about the DRT system and the different components that make up your mindset within it. Welcome along to the DressageRiderTraining.com podcast. I'm Nicola Smith, and in each episode I'll bring you an educational or inspiring message to help you unlock your true potential as a dressage athlete. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Today I wanted to uncover the DRT system and start to talk more about mindset and why it's such an important part as us as dressage riders. You see, dressage is a team sport. We work on our horse to train to perform these beautiful dances together, creating a common language and forming an unbreakable team bond. Our ultimate goal with dressage is to synchronize and to move as one with our horse. This is coalescence. It is the pinnacle that we're striving for. Within the DRT system, we've broken it down into 4 elements: suppleness, stability, stamina, and your mindset. In coalescence, you see the word co, which should tell you the word means together. The other half of the word comes from alisure, a Latin verb meaning to grow up. As we form our bond and team unit, we grow together and our language becomes more subtle. Our communication gets stronger and our understandings get softer at the same time. Within our dressage training, we're working on our training to create straightness, correct contact, suppleness, engagement, and collection. All of these things require clear communication from the rider and the right sort of training over time to develop. As we work on our horses training by working on our own alignment, correct core engagement, suppleness and stamina, we can then improve our ability to be able to move with the horse and to create this beautiful dance. Just as you can miss the basic foundations of your horse's training and find gaps in their performance, you can also find this in riders. All you have to do is head along to watch a group of riders at, say, a competition, and you can see riders who move with the horses and riders who don't. Just as you can see horses who use their back and have this correct elastic performance and others who don't. Sometimes you can reach the top and you can have holes, and there is plenty who do. And I'm not here to criticize whatsoever, but pointing out the fact that you can always notice the difference of that magical picture when you can see people who move with their horse, watching those riders who move as one. There's a lightness about how they move together. Where I come from in my training and what I do is about helping the horse to be able to perform without strain and to prevent injury. The same is for the rider. So correct training to improve your posture within the horse and the rider is pivotal to allow this to happen and to prevent any risk and undue wear and tear. I want to be riding into my 80s because I believe there is so much to learn, and it's going to take me a lifetime to learn the art of dressage. The deeper you go, the less you know and the more there is to learn. And so I want to be continuing to be able to ride for as long as I choose to, and I don't want injury, undue wear and tear to hold me back because I neglected my body in my earlier years. So it's about making sure that I teach my body to be aligned, that I don't put any undue stress and any sort of tension where it doesn't need to be, and I improve my suppleness and I improve my strength so I can be strong at the same time as I'm asking my horse to be. It all makes sense that we work on our own health and well-being as much as we do our horses. So in doing so, we can then enhance our horse's posture when we're in good alignment and posture as well. And we can move freely with our horse and not hold it back. Then when we perform this beautiful dance together, we move as one. We create this lightness, this elasticity, and coalescence. So there's 4 elements of the dressage rider training system. We have suppleness, stability, stamina, and your mindset. I'm going to be speaking a lot about mindset within this podcast because it's much easier to talk about mindset within audio than it is to obviously talk about exercises. And then throughout this podcast as well, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, any sort of things that you'd like me to discuss, please do make sure that you send them in, and I'd love to be able to discuss these and help you out through the podcast. But as much as I can, I want to help you with your mindset because I believe everything is connected to your mind, and so much of life is about our mindset and our mental health. And dressage in itself is a very subjective sport, and so much of it is out of our control. Your mindset and your ability to nurture positive thoughts by focusing on your goals and what you can control is one of the single most valuable life skills you could have. First, it's about understanding what mindset is made up of and the following components. So your mindset governs your actions and the decisions you make. The results you achieve both in your writing and in your life are directly related to your mindset. Your external world is a reflection of your internal world. And if you want to change your external world, you need to change your internal world. So mindset governs the actions you take and the decisions you make, and it's made up of the following three elements: focus, thoughts, and goals. Focus is your ability to stay on task when there are distractions all around you. And at any dressage show, there are distractions everywhere for both you and your horse. Being able to stay focused on your own riding and what you need to do is a skill that can be learned. You're asking your horse to keep listening to you no matter what is happening around it, and the horse requires the same from you to be focused and on task with what you're trying to achieve. Your thoughts is the second aspect that contribute to your mindset. We have over 64,000 thoughts per day. Most of these are random and fleeting, and it's your thoughts that are persistent and tied to your beliefs and self-worth that you need to learn how to control. Nurturing positive thoughts, rewriting your story that helps you head in the direction that you want to head into, and helping to see the positive in situations no matter how drastic is a habit that you can install and that will lead you to help you make good decisions and feel good about yourself. As humans, we need to have goals, and goals is the third element. We need to have purpose and growth in order to feel good about ourselves. A growth mindset. Knowing where you want to get to gives you confidence and a sense of purpose in your day. Setting goals on how you're going to get there will give you the challenge you need in order to grow and a sense of self-worth when you achieve them. Like I said, dressage is a subjective sport. Our mindset and our ability to nurture positive thoughts and focusing on our goals and what you can control is a huge, valuable life skill for you to have. Now, how do we improve our mindset? When you look at any successful CEO, successful athletes, they read on average 5 books per month. They surround themselves with ideas and inspiration to improve. They have a growth mindset, not a closed mindset. They're continuing to surround themselves with ways to improve. And this is about understanding how you can do this. Now, for me, I love to read and listen, but I don't like to physically read in itself because I don't have time. I've got horses to ride, I've got a business to run, I've got things to do, and life can be full on. When I set myself a goal of wanting to read a book per week, it didn't happen. And then I used to beat myself up because I wouldn't achieve the goals of reading those books. But then I got into listening to audiobooks and got into the understanding of learning how to stack your life and how to put more into your life, because we all have 24 hours in a day. We are all busy, and it's all about how you utilize your time. And so to me, audiobooks is a fantastic way for me to read, I'm doing quotation marks, more books. And I read probably about 2 books per week just by stacking it. And what I mean by this is there are chores and there are things that you do within your day that you have to do, and you kind of just do them mindlessly. When you have horses, you're mucking out, you've got a horse property run, you might be mowing lawns, you might be doing hedges, you might be just cleaning things up, sweeping. All those sorts of things happen daily, and they're things that you do mindlessly. There are other things that you also do, like driving a car, going for walks, or you could be picking up children from school, walking down the road. And so all of these kind of things you do without thinking, you have to do it. And all of these things you could be listening to books along the way. And like I said, I work from home, so I don't do much driving, but when I do drive, say when I'm heading along to a lesson or when I am heading into town, anytime I hop into the vehicle, my phone is synced to my radio straight away, and the latest audiobook just comes on, it carries on where I left off. Whenever I'm mucking out, I've got the audiobook on. Sometimes it's not just audio, it can be listening to podcasts, but I'm constantly surrounding myself every single day with ways to improve and surround myself with next level information. So I'm continuing to learn and continuing to surround myself with things that can help me improve. And the great thing about books is you may have heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, and you want to surround yourself with people who are better than you, people who have done the work, people who have achieved what you're wanting to achieve. Now that can be really hard to do because you can't sort of just ring up, say, Oprah Winfrey and ask if you can hang out with her. But what you can do is you can get her book and you can hang out with her for a week in that book, and people pour their heart and souls into a book. If you ever ask an author how hard it was to write a book, they will say it almost ruined them, or it was the most unhealthiest thing they did because it was so hard to achieve, and it's so hard to get a book over the line because people pour their heart and soul into their book. They take what's in their mind, all their best thoughts, and they put it down on paper for you to share. And that's why books are so powerful, for you to be able to gather that information of those people you admire, because they have put their best bits into a book for you to be able to learn. So this is how you can surround yourself with those type of people, and you can learn all their positive messages, you can learn from their failures, you can learn the things that they would do to get to where they're wanting to get to. And so by doing this throughout your day and throughout your week, you can continue to get that information, and you can surround yourself with those type of people. So stacking is a great way to get that information in. So this is where I'm doing it while I'm driving, doing it while I'm mucking out, mowing lawns, doing all those sorts of things. So think about how you can surround yourself with more ways to improve your mindset. Start to think about how you can focus on more of your goals and what you're trying to achieve. Because remember, your goals, your mindset is made up of your focus, your thoughts, and your goals. And this is my first tip for you, is to think about how you can surround yourself with more positive thoughts by surrounding yourself with more positive messages. Because too often people are just binging at the end of the day on Netflix, on TV, pour themselves a bottle of wine, and they are just being entertained into the evening as they try and let go of what's happened in their day. But they're not doing anything to be able to improve their mindset each day. So see if you can just switch a few habits around and start to bring in some more positive messages so that you can start to get into a more positive frame of mind. You see, happiness is about being content with who you are, with where you're at and where you're heading, working towards things, improving, making changes. Any time that I feel dull or flat, lack motivation, feel like I'm falling off track, negative thoughts start to creep in, it always coincides with the fact that I have let this part slip. I've stopped surrounding myself with information to improve. I've stopped surrounding myself with positive messages, and I've let the Netflix slip in, I've let the negativity come in, And all I start to do is start to bring back the right messages into my life, start to bring back the right habits, and that's where those changes start to make place and I start to improve. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found that helpful. And I'm going to leave it with that for the very first episode, all about how you can start to surround yourself with more positive messages to improve your mindset. So that's it for the episode. Make sure you download my free guide at dressageridertraining.com. It would help you get started on your journey to becoming the best rider you can be. And if you know others who would like the show, please do share this with them. My goal is to help you enjoy your riding even more by taking care of themselves as much as you do your horses. And finally, if you have time to give this podcast a review, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode. That's it for this episode. If you found it helpful, make sure you download my free guide at dressageridertraining.com. It will help you get started on your journey to becoming the best rider you can be. If you know others who might like the show, please do share this with them. My goal is to help others enjoy their riding even more by taking care of themselves as much as they do their horses. And finally, if you have time to give this podcast a review, it would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.